Hey, it's Brenda here. Today's video is all about Mary Kay's IntelliMatch Foundation. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some different things. We're going to talk about primer. So the first thing is you always want to prime your face. Now, most people think that those women in Hollywood have perfect skin, but they do not. Um, their makeup artists use foundation primers on them to create that flawless look. So we're going to start with Mary Kay primer. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it as I go. First, you are going to, let me get my hair out of the way. Okay. So first, what this is going to do, the foundation primer, it's going to perfect skin as it enhances foundation benefits and extends the wear of your foundation. It helps to reduce the pores, fine lines and wrinkles, and other skin imperfections. Okay, so all of this is coming in this little tube. It is patent pending, oil-free gel. It's a mineral enriched gel to absorb excess oil, and it diffuses the light for more perfection, you might say. Okay, so that your skin does look perfect, but it gives those skin perfecting benefits. It also provides a layer of sunscreen SPF 15. Okay, and so it's going to dry to a lightweight finish. I'm trying to make sure all my notes that I've told you everything. Yeah, so it's a lightweight finish. So when you apply it, you want to apply just about a pea size, okay? And you're going to put this on with your fingertips, blending it like this, okay? And then always start in the center of my face. Wherever you're going to apply foundation, that's where you're going to put your primer. It's really silky, so it's going to fill in these pores. I kind of like to say that it is like spackle. Before you paint your walls, you fill in the holes with spackle, and it fills in so that when you paint, the walls just look beautiful. That's what this foundation primer is doing. So it's going to fill in the pores so that they become less noticeable. It's going to become a magnet for your foundation, holding it on for hours. And so it's just going to make your skin look more flawless and no filter needed. Okay. Now we got two different foundations, but I'm going to tell you we're going to use a foundation brush. Okay. Using a foundation brush is going to give you a more flawless look as well. Plus, using your fingers from where you're touching and handling everything else, the dirt and the oils that's on your fingertips from handling everything else is going to break down the consistency of your product. So it's always best to use a brush. I prefer that over a foundation sponge because the sponges kind of hold in bacteria as well. Now, you do want to have clean brushes when you work, okay? So you want to wash your foundation brush at least a couple of times a week. Now, I'm going to tell you really quick a little bit about our Mary Kay Time Wise Foundation. So let me just give you all the facts about it because we do have a great foundation. This gorgeous matte foundation comes in matte or it comes in luminous. I'll kind of tell you about both. It comes in our exclusive IntelliMatch technology with our patent pending age minimizing 3D complex. If you apply your foundation in the morning, it's going to instantly look matte. It's going to stay matte all day. And when things start to heat up and maybe it's hot outside or whatever, then you're going to know that you can trust this makeup to be melt proof because it's humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant. So that is all the great things about our foundation. Each shade is created to actually mimic your actual skin tone. So we have these in several, like I said, we got them in ivory and beige tones, and then we have it for cool, warm, and neutral undertones. And then, of course, the number on our tubes will either, if it says warm 120, warm 100, that means it's going from darker to lighter. So we would need to have a professional color matching, so that we get your right tone and your right undertone. So now the women in the test market of our foundation found that 8 to 10 women said that the best match, they found the best match for their tone and their undertones. The product lasted 12 hours. So for those of you that need oil control, they said they had 12 hours of oil control and that it lasted for 12 hours, the foundation coverage. Special microspheres, like a little sponge, absorbs the oil. So that's what's in here. It leaves no oily or greasy afterfeel, and it doesn't settle in your lines. It is lightweight. That's what I love about it, is you don't feel it. Now, I am kind of dry. I'm actually combination, so I'll have a little bit more oil in here and much drier out here. But I wear the matte because I love that you can't feel it. Okay. I love that you don't feel it on your skin, and then it looks natural. Your skin's going to look healthier, firmer, and younger when you're wearing this. And it blends, and it's buildable, which means that you can add a layer and it's going to be a more fuller coverage. So what I want you to know about this, it's also encapsulated with resveratrol, vitamin B, and an age-fighting peptide. Okay. Now, resveratrol is an anti-inflammatory that comes from the seed of grapes. So it's actually a protectant around the inside of a grape. So it's going to protect its skin. So when you're wearing this, it's going to be like a protectant on your skin. So it's got the great ingredients of vitamin B, and then the age-defying peptides are in it. Let's go ahead, and I want to talk to you. The first I'm going to do both. I'm going to do one side with luminous and one side with matte, so you can see how it works. So let's start with, I always apply by putting it on top of my hand like this. Okay. Okay. Now, this is the luminous. I'm going to put it on my right side. And let's see what let me move this stuff out of my way here. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to put it in the foundation, and I've already put my foundation primer on. And so I always start in the center of my face like this. Okay. So I'm going to just do half with luminous, and then I'll tell you the benefits of the luminous. Okay. If you're really dry, your skin can look really dull and drab and not very healthy looking. And so what the luminous does is it actually provides some moisturization and makes your skin look really dewy. So if you like that dewy look, then you will probably love the benefits of our luminous foundation. Now, luminous and matte, you're going to get the same coverage. It's just going to be a different coverage as far as whether it looks luminous or whether it looks matte. Let me see what benefits I need to tell you from. So I will usually do a little bit and then come back and add more if I need it. But what I want you to know is, when it comes to your foundation, makeup shouldn't look like a mask. Okay. You really don't want to change the way you look when it comes to your foundation. You don't want to change your skin. You don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. You actually want to enhance your skin. If your makeup looks perfect, like when you see the women on TV and the models in the magazine, it's really not. They make them look like they're not wearing makeup. So makeup, when it comes to foundation, eyes. Now, I love makeup. Okay. but I really want people to see my features. So as I'm doing a makeover on you, I'm looking at your color of your eyes because I want to bring those out. I want to bring your eye color out, your lips out, so that people see you more than they see the makeup. So you really want to feel confident when you're wearing your makeup, but you don't really want it to change what you look like, if that makes sense. We want to hide things. We want to hide the imperfections, but you don't want to look like you don't want to, like, if you take it off, people don't notice you. They don't even know who you are without your makeup. I want to enhance you. Okay. And so I'm going to do the second coat. That first coat has kind of had some time to dry, and I got to talking there and forgot to read you the benefits that I was going to read about this. So we just want to make sure that we're getting around our hairline here. Okay, so make sure you don't see a line up around your hairline. Okay, so now I really do start in the center of my face because, as you can see, most of the redness is in the center. And then I'll start to let it fade out so that it doesn't get really thick and look like a mask out here. So this is what I do. I just put it on. Now, the thing about our foundation is it looks kind of runny. When you first put it out on your hand, it'll look runny. It looks very thin. So that makes you think automatically that it's not going to cover. Okay. But as it dries, as you can see, you're not really seeing through this. Your skin looks very healthy. I'm getting the vitamin B and the anti-aging from it, but see how much it's covered? Look at the difference of how much it covers. Now, when you've chosen the right color, then when you look from here to here, okay, then your foundation should match from here to here. You never choose a foundation by matching here or on your hands. I see people do that often in a store, but it doesn't, you don't want to match there. When people look at you from here to here, that's where your foundation should match. So we can get you the perfect shade of foundation. But again, it's going to look healthy. You're going to look like you're not wearing foundation, which is what really, really, really what you want, because you're going to look much younger that way. Now, I'm going to switch over. Let me tell you the benefits of the Luminous, okay? You'll know you have Luminous if your little swoosh on the back of your foundation is pink, okay? So the benefits of the Luminous provides long-lasting luminous finish, delivers 12 hours of moisturization. It's humidity and sweat resistant. It includes the 3D complex. Its skin looks instantly brightened and foundation looks fresh all day. It contains light reflecting minerals plus jojoba for lasting comfort. It doesn't settle in your fine lines, and it's age minimizing, and it mimics your skin tone. That's what it should look like. It should mimic. So that is the Luminous. That's for normal to dry girls. Most of the time, if I'm doing your makeover, I will actually apply matte foundation just because it's what I prefer for me. And so when you're having a shade matching with me, you may want to let me know if you'd rather have luminous or rather have matte. Now I'm going to use a different brush, and I'm going to use the matte foundation. It's a purple swoosh, okay? So I'm going to, again, just come apply about a pea-size amount on my hand, okay? And if I need more, I'll come back for it. So this side is luminous. This side is going to be matte, okay? So it's going to be less moisturizing just because I don't really like the shiny look. I don't like to feel it. I do put it on my eyelid. So if you'll notice, I'm going in a circular motion. I want to have the darkness in here. And so we're going to, and again, as I said, it is a buildable foundation, both of them, matte and luminous. So once you apply one coat evenly, then you could come back Now I have a lot of redness, as you saw. Okay, now as you see it right now, you're still seeing red bleed through, but as it dries, it's going to dry where you don't see as much. And I'm going to do a second coat here in just a second, and I'm going to point out how even when you have the right shade, when you first start putting on your skin, it's going to look way too light. Okay. But as it oxidizes with your skin, it's going, if we've chosen the right color, it should just blend in and you won't see it. So let's try this. Okay. Actually, if you can see on my hand, okay, can you see how it's darker there already? This is when you first get it out of the tube, and then as it settles and dries on your skin and oxidizes, then that is, if it's the right color, it'll blend right in and you won't see it. So here's what I mean. Okay, see the first coat's dried, but see how I put that on? See how it looks really light? And then I'm going to blend in like this. And then as it sets, it will be less of the red bleeding through. My skin's going to look really healthy, which is what I want. I want to look like I'm not wearing foundation. So again, when you come for your shade matching, we're going to look to see what if you're ivory, beige, or bronze. Then we're going to look at your skin tone. I may ask you a couple of questions about your skin to see if you're a warm or a cool or a neutral. And then we will select, once we find out the undertone, we will select if you're a lighter in that tone or if you're darker. So there will be a few things that we look for, but we want to get your perfect shade matching. Okay. So now as this settles, you're going to see, I might as well get the rest of this off my hand here. But as I'm doing this last coat, instead of doing a lot of pulling and tugging on my face, you'll see that I'm pressing it in. Okay, so I'm blending it in and I'm pressing it into the skin. Now, all of our products are non-comedogenic, which means it doesn't clog your pores. Okay, so I'm going to put this over my eyelids. Okay, I'm going to put this over on my eyelids because if you see, there's a lot of red in my eyelid. All right. So that is the shade. That's the foundation. Now, I do like to use, let me get mine. Okay, so this is just our liquid foundation. You can see it covers very well. All of that redness is gone, which I'm excited about. But I still use our, it's setting powder, but I call it mineral powder because I still use this over my foundation. Now, a little trick that I have done just to speed up my process as far as contouring and highlighting, I go ahead right now. Let me take this clip out of my hair. Okay. What I do right now is I use the light ivory, or whatever the new shade is of ivory. I use the lightest ivory setting powder, which actually has color in it. Okay. So I'm going to get another layer of coverage, but I use the lightest ivory and I just go ahead and I do highlighting, okay, in the center of my face. So I'm just going to do that, okay, with this. So I'm staying in the center. You're going to need two brushes, okay. So I'm doing ivory in the center of my face. Now we may need to check your foundation shade because in order to highlight your face, we need to go 2 shades lighter on a powder if we're going to highlight with it. For contouring, we're going to go 2 to 3 shades darker. Okay. Now there we go. See how my skin just, I want all that redness gone. Okay. So I'm doing the center of my face with this. Okay. Maybe bringing it some down right here. I typically don't take it all down in here. Okay, so that's the lightest ivory that I'm using for me. And now you're going to switch brushes, okay? And I'm going to go at least 2 to 3 shades darker in the setting powder to contour with, okay? So I'm going to come here. You need to keep your sifter shut. I forget to do it, and so I have way too much powder there. So I'm just going to come and use what's in the lid for now. I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to begin to contour, okay? So I'm just thinking of this as erasing the outer part of my face so that my face looks thinner. Okay, you can already see that. See how we're going to blend that? Making my forehead. So I'm doing this and then I'm coming down the jawbone, okay? If you need to blend down, you can, okay? Can you see how that is chiseling out? So we're putting this right underneath that cheekbone. That's actually going to lift that cheekbone. See that? So what I've done is light ivory powder here, and then I'm using this powder coming under the bone. Now, I'm using one of the old Mary Kay brushes, okay? If you use the cheek brush, it is angled at a different angle. I'm having to squeeze this one, but the new Mary Kay brush is angled. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then, you know, when we're all young and youthful, you have this nice tight skin and you have this jaw bone, but sometimes as we age, kind of lose that. Okay. Again, I know if you're watching a lot of YouTube channels, I mean, like they're doing a ton of makeup, but I kind of want you to think about what does it look in the natural light. And if you're going out into town or you're going to work, what do you really want your makeup to look like? Do you want to look like you're wearing a ton of makeup or do you want to look like it's all natural? Okay. So this is definitely not natural. This is, as you saw me, this is not what my skin looks like, but I don't want you to see all the things that I create. Makeup creates illusions. And so that's what I want is when you look at me, you're like going, wow, okay, what does she have on and what does she not have on? I have it all on, but I don't want everybody to know. Okay. So I'm creating some illusions and some shadows, kind of erasing the outer part of my face so that it looks thinner and more lifted. All right. So that's your video today on primer and foundation. Have a great day. Bye bye.